heart rate is still a little bit high right now from that overtime period here in Death Valley. Final score from Clemson, South Carolina. Florida State getting it done, 31-24. And this was the kind of game for Florida State that you've had circled all offseason. Like LSU was that big game that had playoff implications and you wanted to make a statement, but this was the game where if you want to be the best in the ACC, you got to start with knocking off the king. If you want to be in the throne, you got to snatch the crown. And so for Florida State to be able to come out and have a game like this and an effort like this, I don't think you can say enough good things about their performance today and the grittiness of their performance to get it done. I mean, I'll tell you what, this atmosphere was absolutely electric from start to finish. There was no eye off the ball syndrome for Clemson from the team or from the fan base. So we'll break it all down really quickly though. Make sure you're dialed in. Make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. Florida State fans had a lot of y'all join us here in the last even month or so. We're glad to have you here. Make sure you're subscribed so we can keep y'all informed for where we're headed next. So appreciate you in advance for that. Make sure you're dialed in. Also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Pakel. When it comes to the game though, man, if you're a Florida State fan, coming into this one, you were hoping / expecting if you had to win the football game, it would take your best game. And that was not the case at all. If you told me before the game, Florida State's going to run for 22 yards on the ground, I say, okay, well, how much did they lose by then? So it was gritty from all angles, but if you're going to look at this thing from a cup half full perspective, you're saying, okay, ran for 22 yards, it wasn't pretty a lot of the time, and you still found a way to beat the class of the ACC from last year at their place with an electric environment. How far can this team go? Like if we didn't play our best football and we're a Florida State team and we still have more in the tank and found a way to get it done, you start thinking about, okay, well, where is the ceiling for this team? What is the potential of this team? So that's the first part of this. The other part of this is just how gritty they were. Jordan Travis, we knew going into the game he was a little bit dinged up. We weren't sure how much of a factor he would be. If he was hurting, he did not show it by the way that he played. He did not play hesitant. He went full on. He was running the football. He wasn't sliding a lot. It was a lot of Jordan Travis saying, I know what this game means to my team, to me, to my legacy, to what we've done to this point here in the Mike Norvell era. And he played that way. And so for Florida State as a whole, man, on top of that, your dog showed up when you needed to have them show up. Keon Coleman, that catch, right, I mean, it's the sideline right behind me here. They got one-on-one coverage. Jordan Travis trusts his guy in overtime, goes up, says game blouses, and that turned out to be the game winner after Florida State got that stop in overtime. Like, to have the grittiness and the sense of urgency. There's a time to play and there's a time to win. And Florida State, when it was time to win, that was when you got their best. So now going forward, these were the two games you had circled. You had LSU and you had Clemson. Now you have checked both those boxes. There is no more questions for us as a college football public of, well, does Florida State have it? We know Florida State has it. We saw it today on that field. We saw Jordan Travis find a way to get it done. We saw this defense answer the call to action, have a defensive touchdown that ultimately, in my opinion, swung the game back towards Florida State. Like, we've seen that they can do it. Now it's a matter of week in and week out, treating every single game like it's LSU in Orlando, like it's Clemson in Death Valley. So I'm fired up to watch what they do the rest of the way. This will obviously have an enormous impact on the college football landscape as a whole. But how far can Florida State go after a game like this? I think there's no telling. Make sure you're dialed in. Make sure you're subscribed. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.
Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.